Welcome to this section. I'm Ms. Smita Mangesh Zindarkar, conducting this video section on Unit 5, that is a network architecture and protocol. So students, let's begin with our section. What is a layered architecture? A layered architecture is the organization of the projects structured into basically four categories. Those are presentation, application, domain, and infrastructure. So each layer contains the objects which are related to particular concern is represent. You can see this example which is related to layered architecture. Assume that Maria and Anna both are neighbors with lots of common ideas. Now, Maria speaks only Spanish and Anna speaks only English. In short, there is a language barrier within both of you. But still they are communicating with each other very nicely with the help of sign language, because both have learned that sign language in their childhood only, and they are literally enjoying meeting in cafe and talking, exchanging their ideas by using that sign language. So the communication is face to face and happens in one layer, as you can see over here in this particular figure. Now assume that Anna has moved to another town because of her job. Although both are very sad because now it is very difficult for them to communicate. But Maria opens one packet that contains two small machines. First machine can scan and transform the letter in English to secret code, or maybe vice versa. Same way another machine also can use for scanning and translating the Spanish language. And both are kept that machine. The two friends can still communicating by using the secret code. You can see this following figure, so you will get the idea. Means previously they are using the sign language because there is a face-to-face communication. Now for them it is a very difficult. They won't able to do that communication with the help of sign language. So they are using one machine which will transform their code, secret codes into particular their languages, English or either Spanish. And with the help of that, they can easily communicating with each other. So this is called as your layered architecture. Now the dependency of that layered architecture, that is a presentation layer, application layer, domain layer, and infrastructure layer. When I will say about the presentation layer, but first of all, each and every layer contain the object which are related to particular concerned it representation. Now let's see about the presentation layer. It is responsible for presenting the UI to end user and sending the response back to client. Getting it? Application layer. This is it contains the logic. Application layer consists the logic that is required by the applications to meet its functional requirements, and same time it is not the part of domain rules. Getting it? Means application layer consists of services which are only related to domain object to fulfill the use case scenario. Now domain layer, this represents the underlying domains, mostly it consisting the domain entities, in some cases services also. So business rules like invariants, algorithm should all stay in this particular layer. Now I will move towards the infrastructure layer. This is also known as persistency layer. Basically, this contains the classes and these are the responsible for doing the technical stuff. When we will say technical stuffs, it become your database, it could be your DAOS, repositories, etc. will come under the infrastructure layer. There are two important rules for classical layered architecture. First one, all the dependency go in the one direction from the presentation to infrastructure. And second one, no logic related to one layer concern should be placed in another layer. For instance, no domain logic or database query should be done in UI. Now, certain benefits of layered architecture. Simplicity. The concept is a very easy to learn and visible in the project at first grasp only. Second benefit, consistent across different projects. Means layer and so the overall code organization is pretty much the same in every layered project. Next benefit, guaranteed separation of concern. Just the concern that have the layered and the point that should be stick to the rules of layered architecture. But it's very easy with the code organization. For example, implying that particular things. And after that, browsability from the technical perspectives. Means when you want to change something, maybe in some objects or maybe for all objects, they are very easy to find and they are kept all together. Of course, benefits है तो drawbacks भी है. तो drawbacks are no built-in scalability. When the project grows too much, you need to find out the key to organizing it further by yourself. The principle of layered architecture won't help you in that. So you yourself as a programmer, as a coder, you have to find out that solution. Hidden use case means you can't really say what a project is doing by simply looking at particular code organization. You need at least read that particular class names. Okay, then sometime even you have to implement that, so that's supposed to be over there. So that is the one drawback for layered architecture. Then next drawback, that is a low cohesion. The classes that contributes to common scenarios and business concepts are far from each other because the project is organized around the separating technical concern. There is no dependency inversion. Means in the classical layered architecture, the dependency are directly and conceptually. Changes from low level infrastructure layer can propagate to more important higher layer. So these all are the drawbacks of layer architecture. Now the question is that when we supposed to apply this layered architecture. So now the answer is over here. Simplicity, that obviously important for everyone. The non-existence layered curves makes it specially visible for the low experience teams and easy for applying for the projects with no budget to invest in more advanced architecture. Consistency, multiple small projects handled by the same group of people, such as your internal architecture, microservices. Separation of concern, that is a low experience team. Technical browsability, to some extent it helps everyone. It depends on what you are trying to find out. No built-in scalability, projects are to stay small, such as microservices or large project. It can be easily factored into smaller pieces. Means you can make that small segments for it. Hidden use cases and low cohesion. The project with no and few complex business scenarios, such as crude operations or simple REST services. No dependency inversion. Projects with few dependency on infrastructure. So in which there is no serious low level changes to actually propagate to the higher. Now I will move towards the peer-to-peer process. The process on each machine that communicate at given layer is called peer-to-peer process. At the physical layer, communication is a direct, that is device A sends a stream bit to device B through the intermediate node. At the higher layer, each layer in the sending machine adds its own information to the message it receives from the layer. Now we will move towards the interfaces between the layer. An interface defines the operations as well as services. Of course, it offers by lower level to upper level. So this is an interface between each pair of adjacent layer. Means passing of data and network information drawn through the layer of sending devices and the receiving devices is made it possible by interface between each pair of adjusted layer. Data encapsulation. Now this is the next topic. The outgoing information will be traveled down through the layer to the lowest layer. While moving down the source machine, it acquires all the controlled information which is required to reach the destination machine. The control information in the form of headers and trailers, which surrounds the data received from the layer above. This process of adding the header as well as trailers to the data, that is called as a data encapsulation. जो wrap करता है सबको एक साथ. The information added by each layer in the form of header and trailer. At layer 1, the entire packet is converted to form that can be transferred to the receiving machine. At the receiving machine, message is unwrapped layer by layer with each process receiving and removing that data meant for it. For example, layer 2 removes the data meant for it, then passes the rest to the layer 3. The layer 3 then removes the data made for it and passes rest the layer to layer 4. Like that way it will go so on, passing that, resting that, like that way. The headers and trailers that contains the controlled information. Both are form the envelope which carries the message to desired destination. I am just giving you the simple example of this. For example, data encapsulation means wrapping the data into single units. For example, TV wire, that is a cable wire. You can see that in black coating, all the wires get coated. Red, green, blue. Yes, all the wires get wrapped into that black coating. So, in short, that is called your data encapsulation. All the layers are just removing that data, it will pass, it will rest like that way. Means each and every, that is a header as well as trailer, contain all the controlled information. Basically, they are using to carry the message for the desired destination. That is called as a data encapsulation. Means one more example I will give. we are carrying the pouches, and in that pouch we are keeping each and everything: pen, pencil, eraser, sharpener, whichever our requirements we are keeping within that. Yes, and according to our requirement we are just removing it, we are keeping it, that is resting them in that particular pouch. So that is data encapsulation. Hope student this concept get cleared to you. This is another example of data encapsulation. You can see the following figure. You will get the more idea about the transmission medium. D7 means the data unit at layer 7 and D6 means data unit at layer 6 and so on. These layers were there, that is D7 से लेके D2 तक है वहाँ पे. Now the process start at layer 7. So let's assume D7 is my application layer. Then moves from the layer to layer in descending order. This is the sequential order for that. At each layer, header or possible a trailer that can be added to data unit. Means commonly trailer is added only at layer 2, which is at the last position. When the formatted data unit passes through the physical layer that is my first layer, it change into electromagnetical signal and transported along with physical link. Student, all these 7 layers already we have covered in our previous videos. Those who want to watch that, which how many total layers, their functionality, each and everything I have covered within that video, link is available in our description box. You can see that. So now I will move towards the next part in next unit. Okay, so till the time being, you can watch my videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe as well as share my video if you think it's a fruitful for you. Thank you students for watching my video.